This bottle is $345 and this bottle is $40, and one of them almost fooled me. By the end of this video, you'll know if Montaigne's Torino 21 is a real replacement for Xerjoཌ's Torino 21. It has the same mint, same lemon, same basil opening, or if that $305 difference actually buys you something. I wore them both for a full day, one on each arm. One of them died in about 2 hours. The other was still going past hour 6, and it's not the one you'd think. Let's get into it. What's going on? It's me, Figgy Fragrance, back again with another video. Torino 21, one of my favorite fragrances of all time, one of my favorite summer fragrances. I'm gonna spray these both on skin for you on camera. I'm gonna give you my thoughts. We're gonna break this video down into 3 sections: opening, dry down, performance, and then summary of general thoughts at the end of the video. So let's get into this. So to start, I'm gonna put Torino 21 on this arm. Now this is a pre-reformed batch that I have here. This stuff is literally nectar, and it's kind of hard to come by. But beautiful lemon, mint, herbally basil. The color this reminds me of is perfectly like represented by this bottle. It is such a blue, not blue in like the, you know, the cologne way. It just makes me think of the blue, like blue sky, the blue and white houses in Greece, you know, that beautiful Mediterranean type of vibe. This smells so fucking good on skin. I love this stuff. As you can see, I've gone through so much of this and I gotta get more. Let me spray the Montagne for you really quickly on my other hand. So get to the opening of this. The lemon's there, all in different capacity. It's way thinner. I'm not really detecting any mint. There is something mentholic in this, but it almost smells a little sour. Lemon, definitely. Basil, the basil herbalness, the rosemary is there. I am getting that as well. It's a little harsher. It's not as smooth and refined and well blended as the Xerjoཌ is. The Xerjoཌ with the expensive naturals that they use is sweeter, definitely a lot sweeter. Not in like a gourmandy type of way, more like a you know, just like a sweet Italian, you know, lemon zest type of deal. Very, very good stuff. The Montagne immediately begins to fall apart a little bit on skin. It dries really quickly, I feel, from the opening, whereas I'm still getting the opening blast with the Torino 21, but the middle notes are starting to show their face, where the opening is just almost basically gone. I would rate the opening of Torino 21 a 10 out of 10, the Xerjoཌ, whereas the Montagne I would give, in terms of similarity, maybe like a 6. But they're definitely different. The thing that makes Torino 21 so amazing, that I love so much about it, is that it gives you a visualistic, like when you smell it, you can just see a lemon in your head. Like you think like of the color blue, the color yellow, and you can literally see a lemon when you smell this. It's the best way I can describe it. I know that might sound a little weird or a little subjective, but that's just what my brain does anyways. It's so beautiful. So the opening is where colognes normally cheat. The real test is what happens after they dry down. So we're gonna get into that part. So the Xerjoཌ Torino 2021 keeps its top notes going throughout the fragrance. It's pretty linear, but as it dries down and it gets into the mid notes start to appear, and it adds a really nice herbaceousness to it. So we're talking rosemary, the basil really starts to show, and also the musks just start to appear oh so slightly. Whereas with the Montagne fragrance on skin, what I noticed during my wear test and what I'm noticing right now, all of the top notes are gone. So the good part, the great famous part of Torino 21 is gone. So the mint, the lemon, unfortunately. And all you're left with is just a mess of herbs, and it smells more like herbs Travolante now than it does Torino 21. It's really weird. So herbs are completely dominant on the dry down with the Montagne, where this one keeps its top notes, it keeps its head, and it starts to go into the base notes. You know, I think In terms of similarity and scoring the dry down of both of these, I would give the Torino 21 by Xerjoཌ a 9, and I'd give the Montagne a 2. Look, I paid for both of these out of my own pocket. This was one of the first niche fragrances I ever bought, and this is before I knew discounters existed, and I actually bought this at Saks Fifth Avenue like 5 years ago. And I paid a lot of money for this. I really wanted the Montagne to win. I really wanted the $40 bottle to win, but it just didn't. This stuff was absolutely beast mode on my skin. I sprayed this. I got a little bit on my clothes as well, and I could tell you it lasted about 8 to 12 hours on my skin, and I could still smell it on my clothing on the next day. What I do want to preface this with is that this is a pre-reformed version of Torino 21. I don't remember if I said that at the beginning of the video. Torino 21 has been reformulated, so what's being sold on the market now could be a little different than what I have in my hand here. That being said, I don't know if the banned ingredients that they had to take out strips longevity. I'm going to unfortunately have to find out when I have to get a new bottle of this. But you know, in terms of performance, this stuff absolutely wins. I would give this a 9 out of 10 for performance, where I'd give the Montagne a 1. It was off my skin in 2 hours, and it was. That being said, the cost per milliliter, the Montagne at $40 is about 80 cents per milliliter, whereas the Xerjoཌ is $3.45 per milliliter. You could buy 8 bottles of Montagne or 1 Xerjoཌ. It's your choice. So the verdict is, look, I paid for both of these with my own money, and I really wanted the Montagne to win. If you haven't noticed from my channel, I'm a big Montagne fanboy. I like a lot of the work that they do. But I have to tell you that the Montagne, it gets you 40% of the opening and a quarter of the wear time in terms of performance. If you just want the vibe for the gym or for the office for something quick, like running and grabbing groceries or something, fine. But if Torino 21 is going to be your signature, the Montagne cologne will remind you that you're wearing a cologne every time you spray it. So that's my thoughts on these two. I have pinned giveaway details down in the description. I'm going to be doing a latent comparison next. So I have the Nid Fresh from Montagne, and I also have my bottle of PDM latent. And that's my honest answer. If you've worn either of these, please tell me in the comments what you think, if you agree with me or not. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, turn on notifications for my channel so you don't miss the verdict of the next fragrance that I'm doing. And that's going to do it for this video. I hope to see you next time. Peace.